Thank you for joining us today. You know, a few months ago, we debuted a new variant of our Secure Set product line. You know, as we discussed previously, we have the utility application, large kits ranging from 2 gallons up to 5 gallons. We also have it in 1 gallon containers, which is very popular for commercial and residential fencing. We have the single post application, which we call Secure Set Shake and Pour. This is a single kit that sets a single post. We've also introduced what we call Secure Set Shake and Pour Mini. This is for post leveling. You have a leaning post in a fence. You don't need a kit that would fill a large hole. So this is designed to bring the post back up to vertical and then just pour a small amount into the base to secure it. But most importantly, we have Secure Set Spray Foam. By far one of our best applications. It took 2 years to develop. It is a high density closed cell foam that is packaged with 2 high pressure canisters. Very simple to use. Basically, extract the hoses. Attach a static mixer to the end of the gun. Open the valves on the top of the tank and you're ready to go. Now, we have had many requests about, or questions about, how do you get high density foam underneath something? For example, a driveway that's been washed out, a set of stairs that the foundation is gone, underneath a air conditioning pad or anything of that nature. Well, this foam, when it solidifies, is a very dense closed cell foam. It will support 5,640 pounds per square foot. So extremely capable of handling some very significant loads. This is a piece of PVC pipe. It's called CPVC. You can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. Most often, you're only going to have access to your void from one side. So the purpose of the probe is to be able to insert it all the way to the back side of your void. Now these sticks come in 10-foot lengths. I've cut this down to something appropriate for what we're going to use today. We have a slab of concrete that we had made. It's 6 feet wide, 10 feet long, 6 inches thick, and it's elevated from 0 to about 7 inches of void on one side. And so this is designed to move underneath your slab or whatever you were trying to remedy. So you start at the narrow end, go all the way to the point where the probe will no longer continue its insertion, and then you pull the trigger, extract the probe slowly, letting the foam fill the void. Now remember, the foam will expand about twice its original size. So whatever you put there, it's going to fill twice that void. So then this is a repeated process. You just put it in, extract it, put it in, extract it, put it in, extract it. Pretty soon you're down to the end of your project. So with that said, since I'm going to be laying down on the ground doing a lot of injection, I'm going to go change, and I'll put on a shirt more appropriate. I don't want to be rolling around in the grass doing this, but we have a great demonstration coming up for you. Thank you for joining us today. Well, we've got the kit set up, and as I mentioned in the intro, we've devised a long probe, basically, that we use to get the foam to the far side. You know, this demo is such that we've actually set it up so that it is closely simulates what you'll find when you're dealing with this issue with your own driveway. So we're not going to access it from the other side. We've got that blocked off as if that were the uphill side of your scenario. What we're going to do is just have a few test shots first. Everything's working well. So then we're going to transfer this to our probe. And then this has been pre-measured so that we can get the foam all the way to, there we go, to the other side. So we engage, and remember that foam will always expand to the point of least resistance. So it's going to rise to meet the concrete. All right, that's our first line. Now remember, this is going to expand at least twice the original volume. Okay, and we're just we've got a good indication on the other side of the slab that our foam is expanding well. Now we're going to have to withdraw it a little bit slower because the volume underneath the slab is getting bigger, obviously, as we get a wider opening. Excellent. Everything is expanding well, coming up to meet the underside of the concrete. That's the support we're going to need. Again, this slab is a 6 foot wide by 10 foot long concrete slab, 6 inches thick. It weighs just right at 5,000 pounds. Just to give you an idea of what's going on underneath the slab, we've got a piece of plexiglass here that will be able to give you a visualization of how the foam fills the void, how you can use like one of these extensions that are provided in the kits to increase your reach. So this is how this is going to work. You can see that the foam goes in at one amount and then starts to expand to fill all the voids underneath your slab. So you get the idea of what's happening under the slab as to why it can support so much weight, because every void basically is expanded into. Again, we're withdrawing it more slowly because our gap is getting wider and wider as we get further down the slope. It's filling the void nicely, and any excess is rising up to meet the underside, and then the expansion will carry it forward. So the expansion has already moved about 14 inches ahead of where the probe is. This is working so well. This is so cool. nice. Well, that concludes the application. I've purposely left the end of this open so that you can see that the 6x6 timber that we used initially to support the slab was not encapsulated and still remains. The 6x6 has been withdrawn, and now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the expansion to take place. It will start to harden in 5-6 minutes, and within an hour it'll be hard and fully supporting this slab. We have no issue with the slab rising up. Obviously the bubbles are still centered, yet we have a product that has tremendous support. Again, as I mentioned in the opening segment, this foam will support 5,640 pounds per square foot. So at 60 square feet, you can imagine, just do the math, how much weight can be placed on this slab. So, cleanup again, very simple. Remove the tip. Wipe the nozzle clean. There is a small bag of Vaseline in the kit. Spread it over the openings. That'll keep air and moisture out. And then, last but not least, turn the valves off. So, we started this at 46, 47 is now 318, 246. So 32 minutes, done. This will provide great support for your driveway, the washouts on your steps, anything that you need to reestablish foundational support. Also, you know what took the dirt out in the beginning? That was water. So the water, unless you redirect the flow of water, the water's still going to try to get underneath it, but it will not be able to penetrate it. It won't be able to push it out. So wherever your water was coming from, it's now going to flow out and around the slab. So we have no issue there as far as it, re-excavating the product. That kind of concludes the presentation for today. We have a little cleanup to do, but as you can see, what you might do later, if you wanted to cosmetically clean it up, is take maybe a Sawzall, something like that, clean up the edge, get yourself some flat gray primer paint, paint it, and then you would have none of this foam exposed. Okay, we've completed the demo. We filled the void underneath the concrete slab, and as I mentioned previously, that's 6 feet wide, 10 feet long, and 6 inches thick. It weighs 5,000 pounds. I have my F-350 Ford truck here. It weighs out at 11,000 pounds. Now, we're not going to be able to get all of the truck on the pad, but I would say probably 8,000 pounds of it So we're talking about 13,000 pounds on the foam. It is now 4:38. So we finished this at 3:18. So we are 1 hour and 20 minutes past the last shot of foam. So it's been curing for an hour and 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to just drive the truck onto the foam. Okay, 1 hour ago, 1 hour and 20 minutes ago, we finished foaming this concrete slab. We have probably 8,000 pounds worth of truck on this slab. So now we're going to check the level. Perfectly level. Remember, this foam will support 5,640 pounds per square foot. There are 60 square feet in this for this slab. Technically, this foam on this slab could support 338,000 pounds. So it's great. We love it.